up, Mark?
Oh, well, I don't know if you want to wait.
I want to talk just a little bit about the platform.
I don't know if you wanted me to speak before or after.
Let's, right after this.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of you have asked me, what's your platform? What is it that you want to work for? And I went home and I thought, oh, gee, what is that? You know, there's so much to do. What would be common to all of Arkansas that would affect everybody in the state of Arkansas, not just the seniors or the retirees or the disabled? What one thing comes to your mind that would be most beneficial if I made a platform topic? Anybody want to take a stab at it? Put that in other words.
Public safety.
A safer Arkansas. I was at the North Pulaski Republican Women's Group having lunch one day, and I heard a guy stand up there and another candidate talking about a safer Arkansas, and I thought, let's be more specific. Tell me, what can you do to create a safer Arkansas? So when it was my chance to stand up and say a couple of minutes, I said, I plan on working on a safer Arkansas through your gun rights and your rights to defend yourself. So, we're going to go straight to the videos. Which one you got queued up first? All right, what we've got here is you're going to see 5 minutes and 27 seconds of a 28-minute video. I encourage you, if you haven't seen the 28-minute video, to go watch it later. But this is the highlights, and some of it's going to sound repetitious because it's clips and spliced in there. That's 5 minutes, 27 seconds of that video, and I think you'll get the gist of what I'm about to say. And then Mark's going to play a little Saturday Night Live version. I think you'll get a kick out of it. Maybe.
I've been looking at gun violence in America for some time now, and I'm coming to conclude that some of the things that we have done, we probably shouldn't have done. I do believe in my heart today that Americans, and if one American dies because of this, that's too many. We have Americans dying today because of this decal and this language, gun-free zone. Well, I just said earlier, this decal and this message and language of gun-free zones, that implies that inside this building, which this decal may be attached to, there's no guns in front of that, in that building. To understand, this is what's getting people killed. Any place at the discretion of the person or entity exercising control over the physical location of the place by placing at the entrance to the place a written notice clearly readable at a distance of not less than 10 feet that carrying a firearm is prohibited. Well, what I'm telling you right now is that's what this sign says. Carrying a firearm is prohibited. This says this is a gun-free zone. And that's the part that I have a problem with. If the sign says no unauthorized weapons, or this says no weapons, absolutely none at all, and a lot of people in this country believe that that is an absolute. The language of no unauthorized weapons suggests that maybe there are some authorized weapons inside. So if you had to choose between a sign that suggests perhaps an absolute that nobody has any weapons in there, and one that suggests there might be some authorized weapons inside, which would you rather see on a building? There's statutes in the books that says that gun owner can protect himself and his property and that of which he has control of, and he can carry his sidearm inside of his building, if you will. But let's just say he decides he doesn't want anybody to come in that building except for him with his sidearm. Okay, if, let's two-letter word I'm using there, if he were to decide to put a sign on his building, I would propose that we have some sort of city ordinance or state statute. We've already talked about statutes that talks about signage. Why can't we write it so that if that business owner wants to put a sign readable within 10 foot of the entrance, that he has to use approved language? Under any situation, if any signage is going to be posted, please understand, it should not be this message right here. This implies that absolutely there is no gun inside. And we have got to change the mindset. I would propose that we strike from any written language and cease to use the words gun-free zone. And if we change our conversations and our language to no unauthorized weapons beyond this point. Those of you in the state of Arkansas and perhaps the surrounding states across this country who might hear this message today, maybe you might want to take this idea and apply it to your community. I'll be honored to realize that somebody else has adopted this. This is not a selfish opportunity where I want to preserve this opportunity for me or my community. I just happen to be the individual who began the conversation here in Jacksonville, Arkansas. As I had the same conversation with others, and there's several of you here today, I've talked with several of you one-on-one, and I'm seeing a lot of heads going up and down. You too have had the same conversation, and several of you have come to me and said, wow, why didn't I think of that? It's pretty simple, just change the message. If changing the message is that simple, what does it cost us? Are we going to get it wrong? I'm here to tell you, I do believe this is wrong. This is the wrong message. And while you may notice that this is kind of crinkled up, I peeled this off of a publicly owned building after having talked with someone about what was there. I changed their mind. I'm hoping that those of you here tonight and those who may be seeing this video, I hope I have changed your mind too. Change your minds, change that mindset, and please, if you've got this type of signage on your building, save a life, remove it, because those who are doing the shooting, this is telling them you're protected. You're not protecting the people inside that building. Thank you, and have a good night.